but I knew there would be opportunities, but I just did not understand the scale of opportunities. And it was good to, number one, put myself in an environment where I got exposed to these opportunities. And then number two, find ways, because sometimes you can be very overwhelmed with all the opportunities available, but find simple ways to start moving that needle forward.
Welcome to Clicks and Bricks Podcast. We talk about the entrepreneur mindset.
If you get one shot at this, what kind of shot are you going to take?
If we forget who we are, they're going to forget who you are.
And you've got an adversity story that's out of this world.
Everything from that Main Street brick and mortar to that billion-dollar manufacturer.
David, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell the audience what it is that your company does?
Thank you. So my name is David Owasi. I'm the founder of a company called Ace Your Business Academy. And before I tell you what I do, I want to tell you what I believe. And what I believe is that the future of marketing and sales is in artificial intelligence and automation. So if you picture, we're in 2050 and you picture what's going to happen in the year 2050, hopefully we all live long till then. Robots, AI is taking your order when you go to any restaurants. Robots are teaching us courses. Well, AI, AI, when I say robot, I'm talking about AI. AI is expanding so many things that we do right now. And AI is taking over in many ways. So for me, I believe that this is also going to extend into marketing and sales. And what I believe is that artificial intelligence, which we're already seeing a little bit of when you look at Facebook ads, and it's so creepy how they can bring what you're looking for, what you're thinking of right in front of you. I think that's even going to go to a next level. And I think AI is going to personalize the hell out of marketing, where you're getting ads that are custom just to you, where the AI will say, "Hey John," or "Hey Ken, I see that you were at the beach last week," based on your Facebook or your Instagram post, and will customize the orders, the ad specific to you. Now, I'm not an ad guy, but that's just the future of what AI will do. Now, based on what my company do is, we think that the future is already now. It's began now already. And we have all these tools, AI and automation, that allows us to generate results for our clients, which means more leads, more sales for our clients. And exactly what we do is we have sort of three facets of what we do. The first one is LinkedIn automation and AI. So what we do is with LinkedIn, we're able to use Sales Navigator to find out who your ideal prospects are based on different things like geography, job title, and all these filters. And then we're able to then create a list of those individuals. And then we're able to use AI to create a personalized message. So what I mean by that is we'll record our clients for about an hour. We'll run that recording through our AI models. The AI models learn everything about how you speak, your tone, your accent, all of that fun stuff. And then we're able to then use that to create a personalized greeting message where we reach out through the automation to this list on Sales Navigator we've highlighted, and it will be, "Hi Ken, hi John, hi David, hi," whatever the name of that person is, and you'll be the one actually saying that, but in reality it's AI that has generated that personalized greeting. And as you know, people are obsessed with themselves. Whenever they hear their name, they stop, it interrupts them, and they want to talk to you, and it sparks new conversation. So that's LinkedIn. We also do the same thing with Reddit, where we're able to use AI to find conversations that are already happening in Reddit that is aligned with the problems our client can solve. So for example, one of my recent clients is a career consultant, and the types of individuals he would work with are people who are thinking of quitting their job, people who are looking for a promotion or a salary increase. So we use AI to optimize for people who are saying that already, and they're able to reverse engineer the process to then say, "Hey, I saw you were saying this keyword in this subreddit. Here's how I can help. Here's a free guide to help you with that journey." And then of course, get them off of Reddit. And then the last part is cold email. So cold email is not dead if you know how to do it properly. And one of the things we're doing now is, you know how you can create these Loom videos where you record your screen and you show yourself kind of scrolling through this person's website to kind of like make them feel this is a personalized message just for them, and you're also doing your pitch sort of in like just a little small corner as well. We can do all of that with AI, where we put in the website of this individual, the AI goes there, records the website, scrolling through that website for a few seconds, and then we're able to use the AI parts to get the name of the person personalized, and you just have to shoot one video, and we're able to scale out those cold emails like hundreds and hundreds of individuals. So that is some of the few ways that we're using AI to change the game when it comes to marketing. And it's all about how do you leverage this amazing technologies we have to generate more results doing less work. And that's such a fun thing for me to explore.
Amazing. So let's just go back to the first one on the LinkedIn videos, right? So you're saying, well, first, pause. What's the name of the company?
Ace Your Business Academy. And I know it's a bit of a mouthful. A lot of people have told me that. ACE. So
AceYourBusinessAcademy.com.
All one word, correct, yes.
Wonderful. And we'll throw it at the bottom so people can just click the link and move forward. So
beautiful.
You're saying that I can sit down for an hour, and I sit down for hundreds of hours to record videos, so I'm already probably done. Just dump all that into this AI engine, and then it will make videos of me speaking, but I can just type in what I want it to say, and then the video will appear me saying it.
So for so there are AIs that can do that, but that is just a lot more complicated than it needs to be. So the part that we automate is you saying the name of the individual. So your pitch is still going to be the same, whether you want to greet them or whether you want to say what you offer. This is how I can help your business. All of that stuff is the same, but where we use the AI to create you saying stuff is when you're mentioning their names. So, hi, John, hi, Andrew, hi, Ken. So that's the part where the AI does. Now, technically, we can do the whole thing, but that's more liable to error. So we don't need to do that. It's just a name piece.
Okay, so I think I come video and film background, so we call that a donut ad back in the day, kind of, where we would create an entire ad, and then one piece in the middle you'd swap out with promotions and stuff. But you're swapping that out with direct intent to the potential buyer or
that's correct.
The target audience, I guess you could say, right? So
that's correct. Saying their name.
Right. I do videos. I host for the guests of Clicks and Bricks. We host a quarterly thing, and I send them all videos, and it takes forever, right? Because I got to shoot 200 videos. Saying their name each time, right? It's the same message. Actually, I mix the message up a little bit. I make it a little personal on some of them, but a lot of them, it's the same message, just different names. So that's a lot of time savings. Is there any statistics on? Is this only LinkedIn, or can I make that video and send it through email?
Oh, absolutely. You can send it through email. Absolutely. Any medium, you can basically import a list and then use that list to create the email at scale. So any medium that you prefer, I just use a LinkedIn because LinkedIn is where my clients typically are and where the people I work with, their clients are, because I work with business consultants who work with all these big companies. Right. So LinkedIn is kind of where the magic is for them, but of course, email absolutely works too.
I don't have a ton of experience in video emails. I have a little bit though, probably more than most people. Do you have any statistics on, obviously, if they already know who you are, if they get a video message in an email, what the response rate is for just regular text? My gut is it's pretty good response rate.
Absolutely good. Much better response rates, especially when it's personalized to them and they hear their name said. So we're seeing conversion. So typically we're seeing conversion of almost like an extra 50% more than before the personalized video. Now, where we actually focus our attention mostly is cold emails. And the reason why is because most people, if you have an audience already, they pretty much have that lockdown. And of course, we can obviously increase the conversion there, but they're curious, hey, there's millions of people out there who are not in my email list. If we can find a way to reach them and make them feel like we send this video personally to them, that's where, we earn our money. And for us, we're seeing around, 25-30% click rates from those type of videos, and typically just around 10% conversion. So where people actually click on the link and then, they take the action, which is book a call. But the beauty here is that we're able to scale that effort at scale. So we're able to send thousands of emails. Now, of course, we try not to spam and do stuff like I want to add value and make sure we send it to the right people. But because it's AI that is creating all that stuff, you can send as many as you want. And even if your conversion rate is 1%, worst case scenario, you're not doing any more work. It's just technology doing all the work for you. And as long as you have a solid offer that really makes a difference and add values to people, it's game over pretty much.
That's so cool. And then, okay, so that's the video piece. I can make one video. Well, I got to sit and say a bunch of names for a long time, right? Or I'm assuming, do you have some kind of script that I read through, or how do I start that? What's that hour look like in my life?
Good question. So the first part of the hour is just the pitch. So, we usually for my clients, I have them create three types of pitches. One is, hey, welcome to my network, just a quick introduction. And then the second one is, hey, this is how I can help you. I help X kind of people get X kind of results without doing X kind of stuff. So the pitch. And then the last one is more of a follow-up. Hey, John, I didn't hear back from you. No, are you still interested? Does this make sense? It's fine if it doesn't make sense. I just want to know if you're still interested. So that's the first kind of like 20 minutes of the recording. And then the second part of the recording is where we just want to we have like this script of just gibberish. The goal is just get you to talk so that we can get all sorts of inflection, high pitch, low pitch, all sorts of things in between, so that we can capture any type of name. Because these days, you got all sorts of names out there, Chinese, Indian, English, all sorts of things in between. We want to make sure that we're able to capture everything. So we just get them reading like a very long script for like 20 minutes also. So that's, sometimes that puts you to sleep because it's pretty boring, but that's pretty much the two parts of that 1 hour.
Okay. But once I'm done with that other part, the names, do I have to do that every time? Or once I've done, then once you've got my kind of my dictionary or I don't know what that's called. I think it's my vocal dictionary.
That's correct.
Do I have to do that every time I'm going to send another message?
Nope. So you only do it once and that's it. And by the way, you're not recording names of people. You only record your pitch and you record this generic stuff to capture your dictionary, your vocabulary, if you will, how you speak.
Right.
And then everything else is generated by AI. You don't have to do any recording. Now, of course, if you want to change your offer or you want to have a different angle to it and like whatever, you can always create new videos. But the part where the AI is generating the names, you never have to do that again, just one time.
That is remarkable. Okay. I love that piece of the business. I think, I might be a client for sure. So I think it saves a ton of time and energy, specifically when you're trying to do really email or videos for specific people. I've never done tried to do videos for cold outreach. I've only done it for nurturing campaigns. So that could be a game changer for a lot of businesses, right?
Absolutely.
So that's really cool.
And that's very exciting for us. Go ahead.
Is that super expensive technology to have for a small business? Or is this reserved for enterprise only? Or is this something a small business could get into?
So very thankfully, AI has come a long way. So I come from a computer science background. So I studied computer science and business. And I know when I was in university, which was not too long ago, AI used to be very expensive. And I know that Amazon, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Amazon Web Services. They used to be like one of the bigger providers, and they have made it so much cheaper because they have it at scale now, and you can just rely on some of their expensive technology and just pay a little bit for it. So it's very, very cheap now. Every small business owner can absolutely afford it. The technology itself is a couple $100 per month. All right. But when you talk about the whole service as a whole, then of course it's a little bit more expensive than a couple $100, but it's absolutely cheaper. You can equate it to like, do I want to do Facebook ads? Do I want to do this? So it's like in the same ballpark of what you'd be spending for like any other marketing channel.
Right. And I would argue that you want to do both.
Absolutely. It's just another extension, another way to find and reach your customers. Absolutely.
Right. And I'm super curious. I'd love to get into the technology of how that happens on the back end. I sell a piece of software very similar, but it makes custom landing pages based on the parameters of the URL. Like it'll throw your name in there or, engineer, hey, welcome engineers and stuff like that. So I'm super curious to see how that's happening on the backside. Cause I'm a tech kid at heart. So that is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next little bucket of AI stuff that you're doing. And that one's super cool. I cannot wait to play with it a little bit. The second one, let's talk about the Reddit application that you have. So let's just use a real world scenario here of a local gym, and I like to use gyms as a perfect small business, probably because I own a gym and I'm in that world a bunch. So I could be looking for Reddits of people saying, hey, I'm looking for fitness in a specific area, and then automatically send them an email.
Good question. So Reddit is a bit of a different platform because number one is anonymous. So you don't know people's name, you don't know where they're from, except if
Okay.
it's a specific subreddit, which is like small little communities that is based on a specific area. So sometimes you have those kind of subreddits. But the beauty about it is if you have an online business where you can service anyone in the world, this is
Oh,
perfect
okay.
for you. So usually the way it works is if you identify the type of individual you're looking for. So for example, I gave an example. Let's stay in fitness just because that's kind of more your world. So in fitness,
Right.
what would someone who is having an issue with fitness, like what kind of keywords would they be talking about? They were talking about losing weight.
Keto.
They're talking about keto, exactly. So basically all we want to do is we want to do a quick research to find out what language are they talking about already that gives us a signal that they are having issues or they're having challenges and they need help. Because the fact that subreddit is anonymous is also a good thing because people they just say whatever it is on their mind. Like they just talk about, hey, I'm dealing with this issue, and they just say it because their names are not attached to it. So what we do is we find those keywords that identifies and gives us a signal, and then we also find out what subreddits they're talking about that in, because there's over 5,000 subreddits. And just to give you some more statistics, there's over 400 million weekly users of subreddits. So that's millions and millions and millions of people in all sorts of subreddits, everything from fitness to entrepreneurship to like hikers, bikers, campers, everything in between. So the beauty of why I like subreddit is if you have like very niche sort of business offers. So maybe you only work with like single dads, or you work with divorced moms, or you work with like only hikers or bikers. Sometimes it's really hard to find those people on any other platform, even Facebook. Sometimes it's very difficult.
Right.
Reddit is perfect for that because, you know, in these little niches of communities, these are where these people who are passionate about these things are. So once we identify like a top 5-10 subreddits, they are that these people usually will be in, it's then very easy to just then do the reverse search. And then what we do is we put in the keywords, we put in the subreddit to search it for, and then we also put in the intents. Do we want people who are talking about this in a negative light, in a positive light, in a neutral light, or all of the above? And then once we're able to do that, it spits out just like a search of all those people talking. And then we can then automate a reach out message where we say, hello, username. You know how you can have like this template in like email, yes,
Right.
hello username, I found you in whatever subreddit talking about whatever keyword that is search optimized for, and then we then go into our page. Here's how I can help you. I help other moms like you. I help like whatever. And usually my philosophy in business is always to offer value before you ask for anything in return. That's usually the best way to do business. So you say, hey, I have this little guide I've put together, or I'm happy to jump on a free call with you to show you exactly how you can start solving this problem. Whatever it is you want to offer, make sure it's compelling. And then once you do that, people will be like, oh yeah, send me more information. And then of course, they have to give you their email address to send them more information. And that's kind of how you get them. And then through that email, you can then, say, hey, this is the guide. And by the way, here's a link to book a one-on-one or whatever it is you want them to do next. And then we do that at scale. And the beauty of this, again, is the only time you get to speak to people through this method is when they've expressed some sort of interest in speaking to you. They've responded to your pitch. Otherwise, you can send hundreds and hundreds of those messages at scale. It's beautiful.
Right. Can I couple those two together and then post a video talking to that person?
Absolutely, but it would be in 2 stages, right? So the first one would be getting that email from them initially, and then the second stage would, of course, once you get the email, we can create customized emails, customized videos, sorry. And the turnaround is actually pretty quick. We can do that in less than 12 hours, less than a day, to create a customized video for them at scale. And there are other tools we can do that actually can automate everything, where you get the email, you kind of put it in some sort of CRM of some sort, and then automatically it goes to, does a call to our API to like generate the video and then send it to them automatically without you having to like do a lot of like copy pasting kind of stuff. So a lot of neat tools we can use to do that, but yes, that's very possible.
All right. So using just the 2 tools, I can say, when somebody's looking for X, and when somebody makes a comment on Reddit, I can then offer them some kind of value in exchange for their email address, and then send them a customized email, and I can do that 100% automated.
So the conversation piece is not automated because you still have to do a little back and forth.
Once I've made the videos, right? Once I've made the video for that product, right? So, let's imagine that I'm selling something that fixes a hole in a wall, right? I could be looking through Reddit to say, hey, I've got a hole in a wall. How do I fix it? I can send him a quick tutorial on how to do it. And then if he gives me my email address, his email address, then I can also then, if I have the pitch already made, it would send them an email with a video in there, right? So, okay. I love it.
So
That's brilliant.
Yeah, thanks. It's pretty neat. Just gonna give you some background about myself. I started out as a business coach, and I've had some background running businesses in the past. My first company was actually a pretty boring business, painting houses. So I'm from Canada, and I'm from a place called Winnipeg or Winterpeg because it gets very cold. Actually, one time it was almost as cold as the surface of Mars here in Winnipeg, which was pretty crazy.
Oh, wow.
Like pipes were like busting all over the city. It was a mayhem. But the reason why I'm saying that is because that created a demand for painting houses. So I was in university back then. So all I did was, I didn't have a clue how to paint houses. I mean, I was born in Nigeria. So in Nigeria, I mean, painting is not really a thing in the context as it is in North America, because you actually have to paint. Otherwise, your house will kind of crumble in the winter. So I basically hired a bunch of university students, train them how to paint houses, got them out there in the winters. I was knocking on doors, trying to hustle to get business. So that's kind of like my background. And then as I completed my computer science degree, I started to think there's ways we can mix technology into these things. And that's kind of how I got interested in technology. But when I became a business coach, my clients, a lot of them that were coming to me, the biggest problem they had was really, generating leads. And of course, that coincided with the pandemic, which meant that a lot of the ways they would rely on generating leads with the networking meetings, the trade shows, all of that fun stuff no longer existed. So they were very much just left with online space. And a lot of them were very desperate. And they were like, David, how can you help us generate leads? And of course, I need to feed my family. I need to have them keep on paying me. I went into, looking for ways, smarter ways, because we tried things like joint venture partnerships, and we tried things like, content creation, but it was not really doing the job we wanted it to be. It required a lot of effort. And I wanted something that could work for you while you're not there, and something that is just working for you in the background all day long. And that was kind of where I started to get into this automation. And that was kind of how I solved the problem. And the funny part is when people started to refer my business to other people, they were not coming to me for coaching anymore. They were coming to me for, hey, can you do the automation thing you did for my buddy Johnny? And that was kind of how I became known as the automation and AI guy. And I pretty much embraced it because that's what the market wanted. And so far we've grown our team, and we're really expanding on new ideas, new technologies. And for me, that's exciting because I love tinkering with stuff like that. So it's like I get paid to tinker, and it's like, oh, that's perfectly fine. I love that. And and some of the things we're working on in the future, now we've done cold email side of things, is I'm now looking at TikTok. So I'm like, I'm looking through some sort of API tools, idea ways we can find trends before they blow up so that clients can take advantage of these trends using code. Idea ways we can automate creating content. Idea ways we can automate, like there's so many things we can do with TikTok. So that's kind of like my new sort of nesting ground that I'm exploring, but it's a lot of fun for me to do.
Yeah, TikTok is an amazing animal. It seems like you've got about a 3 or 4 day window of a new trend to really take off or die. And it's going to do one of the two, and you just never know. But I mean, TikTok trends only last about 2 weeks anyway, right?
Definitely. It goes very quickly. And if you can ride that wave, oh man, you can get some quick massive views and grow your business very quickly. And that's why I like TikTok compared to, say, Instagram. It's very hard to grow organically on Instagram. And some people are saying Instagram is going to die soon. Who knows? But TikTok is definitely where the action is if you want to grow quickly.
Yeah, I don't think we're in a world of Facebook or MySpace anymore. I think we have all of these ands, right? There's a lot of people on the planet, and only half of them are even on the internet yet. So it's gonna we're gonna have a lot more than just TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at the time. We already have a lot more than that.
We already do.
We forget about Pinterest almost daily, and Reddit is, Reddit's a scary animal for me, man. There are people, because it's anonymous, they can get brutal on that platform, man.
I definitely agree. They pile on you very quickly.
It's a scary place to live. I'd tend to keep Reddit at arm's length for that specific reason, because I don't need any arguments in my life. I'm just trying to live it through. Awesome. So you moved. when did your family come here from Nigeria? How old were you?
So I was just around 17, turning 18. So this would have been almost 13 years ago now, 12, 13 years ago. I was about 17, 18. And funny enough, when we came, it was was spring. So it was like the perfect time to come to Canada. I didn't understand what the cold was like until the following winter. I was like, wow, really? This is crazy. Like my fridge
You'd never
is
seen
not even
snow,
as
had
good.
you?
Nope, never seen snow in my life until it came. So it's been a very interesting transition.
That's a
But it's
shock. It's got to be a huge
definitely
shock to never see snow at 18 and then get it in Winnipeg, of all
one of
places.
many shocks. One of many shocks. That's a whole cultural shock too, especially considering the fact that coming to Canada, I started this business almost like 2 years coming into Canada, right? So one of the beauties of coming to Canada and North America generally is, the classic American dream. The opportunity is there. If you're willing to look for it, work hard, show up, you'll find something that fits your skill set. But I didn't know that, for example, there are a lot of cultural differences in how you do business and how you speak to people. I mean, I'm like a hustler, right? And I'm calling people like on Sunday mornings at like 8 a.m. And my coach is like, dude, no, you can't call people at 8 a.m. on Sundays. Like, that's just not normal. I mean, some people still do it, but at the time, there was just a whole lot of like little small nuances that I didn't figure it out. It
Right.
took me a lot of time. And of course, I had a strong accent at the time too. And there was so many things going against me, but it's been a lot of fun overcoming all those obstacles over the years and just seeing where I've come to in that time period.
That's a remarkable story. Congratulations on the migration from your home to Winnipeg. And I don't know any of the details there that brought you here or brought you to Canada, but I know it's I deal with a lot of people that are immigrants from other countries, and some of them are coming on good terms and some of them are coming on bad. But I love the fact that somebody can come to another country and embrace it, and not just embrace it, but you're thriving at this point, right? You, within 2 years, started your company, your first company, and then just kept doubling down on that to get where you're at today. What would you tell a young person today, 17, 18, that's just moving to the country, moving to the North America, Canada, Mexico, or the States, on did you have a hard time understanding how much opportunity would be available to you?
I did, but I knew there would be opportunities, but I just did not understand the scale of opportunities. And it was good to, number one, put myself in an environment where I got exposed to these opportunities. And then number two, find ways, because sometimes you can be very overwhelmed with all the opportunities available, but find simple ways to start moving that needle forward. Now, I'm a student of Naval Ravikant. I'm not sure if that name rings a bell to you. It's sort of like a Naval Ravikant, no?
Okay, now off the top of my head, no.
Okay, so there's something I'm a huge fan of his work, and there's something that he kind of, one of his book I read called The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, and I will share some of the things I learned from that book, and I think that will help anyone moving from any other country to Canada. Or
Can you repeat that name one time really quick, slowly for me?
Naval, so Naval, Ravikant, so Ravikant. I believe I spelled that correctly. So
Okay.
he's an American Indian entrepreneur, the founder of Angels List, I think is one of the companies he's known for.
Oh,
But
okay. Yeah.
widely, he's known more for his business philosophy and wisdom. That's kind of what he's really known for. But it talks about, there are 4 levers of leverage. So leverage is basically your ability to 10x or 100x your outputs with the same or similar level of inputs, which is basically what we're doing with AI and all this automation technology. It doesn't take you any more work, but the result could be exponential. And the same thing applies to opportunities. It talks about 4 levers of leverage and how you can use them to find your way, especially if you're looking to the business world. The first one is labor. That's you basically hiring people. And the second one is capital. That's you raising money. But the problem with those two is it requires a lot of what we call permission leverage. You need someone's approval, or you need money, or you need someone to basically allow you to hire them or to give you money to invest in your business. That's usually out of reach for most people. The second order 2 levers of leverage are code and media. So you don't need anyone's permission to write code or to use technology, which is generated by code. And you don't need anyone's permission to use social media. So your TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, and all of that fun stuff. So if someone is coming out here to North America, or even if you're anywhere else in the world, you don't actually need anyone's permission to use those tools, levers of leverage. So the question then should be, what are you interested in terms of technology? You don't have to be interested in technology in itself. I mean, it would be very helpful if you are, but you have to be interested in a problem that technology can solve. And then the question is, how can you scale the use of this technology so that it can simplify my solving of this problem, where I don't have to have a significant amount of inputs to get a significant amount of output. And that's one of the things I learned, and now we use AI and automation. The second one is media. Now, technology is going to be out of reach for some people due to, you don't have the background for it, or you just never think about technology, like that's just not your thing, and that's okay. The second one is media, which is Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media. How can you use it to propagate your message? Because you only need to shoot one video, and even if 1 million people or one person or 10 billion people have seen that video, it's still the same amount of work to create that video and to create that content. So the question is, how do you use code and media to either solve a specific problem or to build a particular kind of following, or to identify with a certain type of individuals so that they can kind of bring them into a niche community? And those are like the levers of leverage that is readily available to anyone, regardless of where you're in the world. Of course, if you come to North America, maybe you have a better way of using it, maybe not. I mean, there are lots of people around the world who can use it regardless of where they are, but I'd be looking at those two levers, code and media. How can I use them to either solve a problem or to share my message or to reach out to people?
Right. And the internet, in my mind, has been a great equalizer of opportunity across the board, right? Nobody can say, I don't have an opportunity. Well, there's half the planet that doesn't have internet, right? Third world countries, all that stuff. And there's brilliant people working on solutions for those problems. But the people that have access, we're all equal on the internet, right? There's no, actually, just your ability to hustle and learn is your only differentiator, I think.
I agree.
As far as I can tell. So it's brilliant. And congratulations for coming here. And I'm not super familiar. Is English your first language?
Yes. So
Nigeria is English by default?
So we're colonized by Great Britain. So English was our lingua franca. I think that's the right term, our official language. So we have like almost 500 local languages and dialects, but which I know a couple of them. But when you go to school, it's English. We all used to communicate. So that was very helpful to transition into coming to North America because I had that background. So that was not much of an issue.
Right. Having an English speaking is going to obviously make this easier for you. I think Spanish would be the next one for ease of use, but there's a lot of technology in all the languages, right? I still use operating systems from Germany, and that's written in German, which I don't understand. Yeah, I still use it. It's called SUSE Linux. I'm an old school Unix guy, so I like to play around with all the Linux distributions. But
amazing, Unix is awesome.
A bad habit of mine. Let go. David, I've had a blast talking with you. You had one other program that you're running, right? You got the videos, the Reddit. What was the third one?
So the third one is for cold emails. So basically, this would be for cold emails at scale. So basically, the idea here is usually people would create these Loom types of videos where you create a Loom video, you sort of record the screen of showing the website of this person you're trying to convince that this message is personalized for them. So we're able to use AI to basically do that. So we will put in the website of this person, and then the AI goes to that website, kind of records a few seconds of scrolling through that screen. And then we're able to do, of course, the AI video part where you say the name of this person and you basically personalize a message to them. But you're able to combine both of those to create a very, very personalized experience where you say, hey, John, I see, based on your website here, and as you're saying that, like, you're scrolling through the website, and that's all done by AI. And then, of course, you're able to then retain the attention enough to hear your pitch, and then just right on the side you have like a link to your Calendly link on the right side, and then they can book a meeting right away. So that is kind of like how we're changing the game for cold emails as well. So we got the LinkedIn side, we got the Reddit side, we got the cold email side, and combining all of those three things, we're able to generate tons of results for our clients, which has been amazing.
Fantastic. And I know a lot of people are going to say email's dead, cold email's dead. They're absolutely wrong. 100%. Right. Anybody that I know that has a company that's over 5 or 10 million in revenue is absolutely, not only will they say that you should be using cold email, they'll put it as one of the top reasons why their company is successful. So
agreed.
It's just learning how to do it.
Yeah. Email is just one of those technologies that's just going to be around forever, because email is like, that's getting right, almost like text messaging. It's like right in front of them in some ways. Now,
Right.
there are a lot of nuances to that. For example, I've noticed over the last couple of years, as the pandemic has happened, a lot of people are getting way more emails because that's just the only way left to communicate these days. So there are lots of techniques we use. For example, we warm up email addresses. So we will have clients create a new email address, well, a new domain name. So for example, if like clicksandbricks.com, we'll have them create clicksandbricks.co or .org or something else.
Right.
So that way it doesn't mess with their actual original domain name. And then we'll warm up their email address for a couple of, like usually anywhere from 45 to 60 days. So that way it's the domain ranking is a little bit higher, so that when you start using it to send cold emails, it's actually delivering the emails into people's inbox and not going to their spam folders. So that's kind of like one of the mistakes we would go into, is they'll just from day one start sending out all these emails, but it's just going to people's spam folders because Gmail and Outlook are much smarter these days, and they don't just allow every email to come in. So those are some of the little small techniques you gotta use to make sure that the email is actually getting in front of the right person.
And then do you send the emails on the behalf of the client, or do you just create the software that helps them create the content of the email?
So we'll send the emails on their behalf. It's all done for you. Is kind of like, I believe, is the way to do things these days. We'll send the emails on their behalf, and all they just sit around and wait for is a result, because that's ultimately what they want. They don't want any additional headaches. So I got people on my team who like do all of that fun stuff, even including the Reddit side of things. We have all those conversations on their behalf. We go into the DMs on their behalf and only send them, okay, this person is ready to work with you, kind of thing. The only part where we get them to do themselves is on LinkedIn, because it's going to be linked to their account and it's going to be in their DMs. So it just makes natural sense for them to reply and respond to people. But other part, we do all done for them.
Yeah, I scratch my head on LinkedIn because it's hard for me to get to respond to everybody at this point. So
that's kind of one of
it's a challenge getting back to everybody, and I really try, but I fail more than I succeed in replying to everybody that reaches out. But it is what it is.
That's fair. That's fair.
And it's just me. I don't have an AI that's doing it for me. I really get in there and do my replies. So it is what it is. David, thank you so much for joining us. I insightful stuff. Absolutely love it. Do you have anything you'd like to leave the audience, insightful words or motivation for a young person just getting to North America for the first time on how to get into this journey?
Good question. So there is a concept of the ladder of wealth, and a lot of people, everybody wants to generate money as quickly as possible, and of course create financial freedom for themselves. But there are usually a lot of steps you have to take. Now, usually the first step is trading your time for hour, and that's kind of where a lot of people are, and that's like the lowest ladder. Then the next ladder beyond that is being more of a consultant, where you are then known as an expert in some way, and you're still trading your time in some way, but you're trading it more so for results in some way. So you're saying, for example, I will help you do marketing, I will help you do whatever it is, a specific expertise. So that's kind of like the next level of the ladder. And then beyond that is then where you have some sort of an agency kind of service, where you're able to generate more results for them, but you're not doing that by yourself anymore. You now have people around you. You have a team working for you to help generate our results. And then from there on, usually next level will be more of software, where you have more of like a SaaS kind of products, where you have technology kind of doing all of that work for you. And then so basically what I'm trying to say here is there are different ladders to wealth, and I think people need to try to understand the levels they need to get into before they just have all these big dreams and they want to make all this money without earning it in some way. So again, I probably didn't articulate that very well, but I recently read through that ladder of wealth, and I thought that's something that people should really pay attention to have a game plan. More importantly, it's like, okay, this is where I am right now. Okay, this is the next step. This is the next step, because you can't just create a company that employs 1,000 people, right out of the blue. You need to, earn it in some way, kind of move up the ladder. Now, of course, some people, they kind of jump the ladder in some ways, and they can jump that. But for most of us who are like not, for most of us who are normal, we have to like follow the path. And it's always very exciting when you know what you're doing and you have a game plan and you're following that path. So little words of wisdom there.
Right. As a business guy, and I'm a boxing coach at nighttime, I talk about the rungs all the time. And some people can skip rungs. And the higher you go, the air gets thinner and the rungs get further apart. So, if you keep trying to jump rungs, if you're in that habit, instead of just, really work on climbing that ladder each rung at a time, the falls hurt really bad. So, and the risk is higher on every one of those rungs that you go up. So take each rung at a time. Each one of those rungs is a learning experience, right? And just my saddest thing is you get stuck on a rung and don't even see the next rung, is the biggest fear. So,
yeah.
But anyway, I love it, David. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day and success with your business.
Thank you very much. A pleasure being on the show.
That's it for today's show, folks. If you'd like to join my Textline community, the number is 314-370-2871. All you have to do to join that text line is send me any question about business or technology. I'll do all the research, and I'll give you an absolutely free, totally unbiased answer. Get to work.